Hello everyone, in today's tutorial we are going to learn about AngularJS in ServiceNow. Well, AngularJS is a popular JavaScript framework which is useful in creating model, view, controller or module view, anything kind of a pattern framework. So in simple AngularJS applications, especially in ServiceNow, it consists of two application file types. That is, one is UI page and the other is UI script. So UI page contains the application's HTML, which we can say as the UI part, and the UI script contains the application's client-side logic. So if anything which is part of client-side logic will be in the UI script, and anything which contains the HTML form will be in the UI page. Well, let's understand what are UI pages. Now, we use UI pages to create custom pages for applications. So whatever pages we see are the custom pages, or like if we want to create any custom pages, then we need to take the help of UI pages. Now, every UI page is a Jelly template. Jelly turns XML into executable code. Well, so whatever pages you see are firstly Jelly templates, and what this does is they convert the Jelly into XML executable code. Now, where does the AngularJS fit inside this Jelly template? So, the AngularJS logic which we write will be contained within the j-jelly tags, that is the opening and the close tags in the UI page HTML field. So whenever we create UI pages, the HTML field is pre-populated with a default Jelly template. So whenever you try to go and create a UI page, you'll see some default templates. Now, developers are responsible for including the AngularJS source file. So let's go and see what are that. This is a dev instance, and if we go and check for the UI pages, just you can see in the filter navigator UI pages, there are many UI pages, around 345 which are present. Okay, you can just open up one and see. This is a password change. This is change password UI page, and you can see this is the Jelly script. Now this is what I was talking. Anything should be part of this Jelly itself. Yeah, you can see the ending tag of the Jelly, and anything should be part of this. So here you can write the JavaScript, or you can even write the AngularJS code. So here this is not being the JavaScript, it's just a simple plain JavaScript, but yes, you can write the AngularJS code too. And when you click on new pages, what it does is it gives a name, and then you can see the HTML. This is the predefined HTML stuff, that is the opening and close braces of the Jelly, and few attributes like trim, XMLNS, and the glides, the whatever the other kind of attributes which are basic requirements are already added for us. We can see the XML versions, the encoding utilized, so these are all part. So what are the other configurations which we see are the application which it belongs to, the category. Now it can be a general UI page, or a HTML editor, or a knowledge base, or a service catalog, or a content management. So it's up to us. Or home pages. Now these home pages are again the different kind of home pages which we see. So but now the category it belongs to is a general category, and we'll understand the direct option. This has got a real importance in this. And then the description of the page, the HTML which we're talking about. We can add the client script here and the processing script here, and the other field which we have is the protection policy. And after you write everything and once submit, you can directly try it from here. We don't require the endpoint to be clicked, but rather we have the button directly which supports the endpoint which shows up. So this is about the UI pages. And now, what is two-way data binding? In AngularJS, there is a concept called two-way data binding. That means the model and view are binded in bidirectional. That means changes to the view update to the model, and the changes to the model update to the view. That happens vice versa. So updates are continuous and dynamic. If we see in the previous tutorial, we have seen a record watcher, which is again a one-way kind of thing, which means whenever there is a update in the database, then you'll see the changes in the UI. But so similarly in AngularJS, this concept can be used where in the view, if you make any change, the model gets changed. The model in the sense the data, and the data updated, the view gets updated. So that's how it works. We'll understand how the two-way data binding can happen. Well, before going into that, after creation of any kind of an application, how do you debug that? So the AngularJS application built will run obviously on the client side. Now to debug and troubleshoot the application issues, we use browser's developer tools. So what are the basic way, or generally if you ask any UI developer, like how do you debug the code? They say is the browser's console. So that's where you find a brief information about what's going on and what not. So we can use such kind of things, or Firefox provides few developer tools, so we can even use the developer tools to achieve that. So it's up to us and understanding where we are comfortable and where we can find more number of features. So we'll be opting for that tool. Anytime you are developing a web application, caching can be an issue. Now this is the one big problem the developers might face. That is, caching, what it does is it doesn't look for dynamic changes. Rather, it tries to put that in the in-memory of the browser and just show the same thing so that the application works in a bit faster way. But if you want to see the most frequent changes again and again, either we need to go for the force refresh or try to go into incognito, which helps. Like incognito doesn't store any kind of caching, so that's where the incognito browser window can be helpful. If not, we need to be clearing the browser cache again and again. So the second and third, the third is more tedious, the second is a little bit tedious, and the first one is the optimal way. The reason being, in incognito there is nothing so-called caching. So you can see the live update happening. So before going into the page styling, what we'll do is we'll create a sample AngularJS UI page here. So I'll say this has test two-way, and I'll write the name or description as test two-way binding in AngularJS. So this is a well and good. I didn't write anything yet, but I'll submit it. And okay, just click updated in this way, and you can see my test two-way is here, and I'm gonna add the code here. But before writing the code, one thing which we need to be understanding is we need to have the AngularJS CDN file which has to be imported. That means if you want to write any kind of directives from Angular, we need the Angular library. So to get the Angular library, what we'll do is we have a script tag available. Now this is the one which I already have. If you want, you can get it from Google also. Go to Google and type the AngularJS CDN and you'll find one among that. So I'm using 1.6.4. So you need to just put the script here, and then the logic comes around after this. Because now we added the library, what we'll do is we'll use the ng app, that is div, and then we'll say ng-app is empty, and then I'll get in and write an input tag, that is type equals to text, and then we have ng model. That is the one which binds the data actually. So what I'll do is I'll add it here as my data, and then we can have a place holder 2 says enter something, and then we can just close the input tag here, and then you're going to show the same data here in real time, and that's where the data gets captured. So this is how the two-way data binding happens. I'll save it and let's try it out. Okay, so here you can see that I just added. Okay, so it's not happening the two-way binding, and if you want to understand if there is any kind of things which are missing, here you can see that it shows missing data.transaction ID. That means it could not send page timing, so there is some issue. So that's how you can use the browser console to understand if at all things are working or not. And if you see, There are a few errors too, that is 18 errors. There you see one, that it is not able to create some property. So this has all been part of the issues it is facing. So let's go back and see where we have gone wrong.